Could you tell me when you first realised that you were psychic?
Well, about the age of 10.
What happened?
Well, I sometimes got strange visions or lights in the bedroom, that sort of thing. Voices in the head. But I thought at the time everybody was the same, so it didn't bother me one way or the other. And it wasn't until I was a fair bit older that I realised that perhaps there was something a bit different.
So do you think that you are special?
No, I don't, not at all. Other people also have got this ability, I think, but in general don't use it. Or if they do, they just keep it to themselves. So I don't think I'm special at all, no.
Could you describe a psychic vision?
Well, that I find difficult. Some, or most, are like looking through a frog which has got a hole in it, of which, during those, I can see straight through the middle and not to the left or the right. Others are like several pictures which overlap, in which case it's trying to sort out which one is the one that I need at the time, and others get most confusing.
Does this not get confusing? How do you know what is real and what is imaginary?
Well, because at the time, it is certainly not imagination. Anyone would know what the difference between imagination and this sort of phenomena. They would dismiss it out of hand.
Okay. Does this sort of phenomena affect your day-to-day life?
Well, it can do, but only if the image is very, very strong, in which case I would write it down to see what's happening, recording it, and then going home in the evening perhaps trying to get in touch with the same thing. The rest of the time I can usually just shut it out through pressure of work, so it doesn't bother me that much.
How do you cut off or shut down your mind to these things?
Well, if it's a very strong image, then I find it difficult and I can't. So, as I said before, I would just write it down and hope that it would not interfere too much with what I'm doing. Others I can ignore simply by starting to do work on something else, and they would eventually go away.
What would you say to people who think the Black Alchemist affair is just your imagination?
Well, really, nothing. I'm not out to persuade anybody of the reality of the whole affair. Anyway, it would mean that any discovery would also be imaginary, which is not the case.
When did you first realise that the Black Alchemist was practising black magic?
Well, that would have been when we first come in touch, which was at Lullington on the Sussex Downs. When we first found the spearhead, and touching it made me physically sick. And I also experienced headaches which persisted, and other symptoms. It was these effects that told me that there was something wrong with the person who buried the artefact.
After discovering the inscribed spearhead, why didn't you just ignore any further images and impressions you received about the Black Alchemist?
Well, I probably could have done after a time, but the thing was that this person was up to obviously no good as far as I was concerned. It was affecting me personally. So the thought was to find out exactly what was going on.
Doesn't picking up psychic information about the Black Alchemist worry you?
Well, of course it does. However, if I do pick up information about this, then it's usually relevant to our situation, and therefore means that we have to conduct some sort of response. All I really hope is that I never pick up another message about the man as long as I live.
Where do you think the Black Alchemist affair will go from here?
I have no idea. we'll have to wait and see. I really don't know. But I don't think it's ended yet. But I would wish that it had. I don't think he will be very happy about the publication of the forthcoming book.
Do you think that the Black Alchemist book is an accurate portrayal of your involvement in the affair?
Of course it is, otherwise I would have said so in the beginning, if I'd have thought otherwise. However, I do get this feeling that he's going to open up a whole can of worms amongst several other people or groups.
From the formal press interview with Bernard, we now go on to an informal chat which took place in my car in front of Danbury Churchyard on the 19th of September 1988.
What would you say was the most frightening aspect of the whole Black Alchemist affair?
Up here finding the heart.
But surely you don't remember much about that.
Well, the after events triggered off.
Well, when you
bad
say that was the
responses.
most frightening, what, the pain or
Yeah.
scenes or what?
All of it.
Yeah. How did you feel?
The whole episode.
How did you feel when you woke up in the field after having last recalled being close to the tree in sort of communication with Maria the Jewess, and then suddenly you find yourself out in the field?
Yes, that was certainly peculiar, but then the mind takes over in a different reality, and obviously I was there and didn't have much time to think about what happened in the interim period.
Did you have any recall at all of Chimerius being inside you?
No,
No, there's no recall of any imagery
no,
or anything like that.
no.
And what did you think when you actually saw the heart and the with the dagger stuck into it?
Disgust.
Really? But you actually said you're disgusting out by the tree.
Yeah.
And I wonder what the hell you're talking about. I realised it was some sort of response to something that you'd seen in an image but couldn't say, because by that time you were almost nearly unconscious anyway.
Mm.
And you know, this "you're disgusting" was part of what you'd actually said.
Mm.
But the Maria the Jewess, do you think it was Maria the Jewess out by the tree? I mean, in the book I asked you at the time whether it was Maria the Jewess, and you said yes, no, they're all the same, basically. Is that... I mean, the thing is that the image was exactly the same as Paputia, or... who was the other
Well, I
one?
mean, there's obviously a relationship
Hecate.
between all of them. No, I think
Yeah.
it was Maria the Jewess. To
What?
me, it was.
Yeah. But why Maria the Jewess? Why not Paputia? Because she was in the churchyard the previous week.
Yeah, I don't know, do I?
Do you think the same person had transformed into something else?
Well,
or
is that possible?
possible? But
Possible.
in a way, why use Maria the Jewess? I mean,
Well,
she's a 3rd century AD Greco-Egyptian female alchemist. In a way, it seems a strange choice to have used as some sort of archetype to have a go at us in Danbury Churchyard.
Mm.
So,
Agreed. I can only agree with that.
yeah. But,
I don't know the answer now. Ask Andy Collins.
no, you can't do that. But what about Hekau, the woman that you saw on Halloween? I mean, how do you think she fitted into all this? I mean, she made one appearance, and then she didn't come back again. I mean, who was she?
I don't know. I don't know who she was, do I?
But do you think that she was another aspect of Maria the Jewess or Paputia? The same thing?
Got the same energy for
Yeah.
it as a different person.
Yeah. But with the same intentions?
That's horrible.
Or do you think she was just an influence that was around that night?
Yeah. One or the other, in there.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that one. Go for the first one.
What about the first time that BSA turned up later on that same evening. One thing I've never asked you is, did you actually pick up
What, over?
here in the churchyard when she came and what we later realised she buried the arrowhead? Did you actually
Oh, well, when she
get
was
the
first
image?
wandering
Yeah.
about up there.
Did you get the image of her actually in the churchyard at the same time that you're picking up those words about try to tree and burn and sword of Dardanus, try to tree, that you can't remember?
No, I can't remember.
Oh dear, what am I? But what? But her energy form that night must have been particularly strong, because obviously you picked up that somebody was actually in the churchyard. You
Right.
don't normally pick up when people are in the churchyard, when any old Tom, Dick or Harry sort of thing.
No, well, any old
goes round
time,
there.
I would hope not, otherwise I would spend the rest of the time up here.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, in many
Would
ways,
not.
there must have been many people that night.
Wandering about.
Yeah. And but what about going back in time to the Lullington stone itself,
The
the original one that was found back in May 1985?
Was it really?
What do you think that was all about? Do you think that the Black Alchemist put that there for us to find?
No.
You don't?
No.
Oh, I said it in the book. It's
Okay.
too late now.
Right.
But you don't.
I didn't read that in the book.
Eh? Well, it's in there somewhere.
Planned
Yeah,
for us to find.
yeah. I mean, I
we
always assumed that, and I believe that.
Well, we were doing something else.
We were. Yeah, but I mean, did we happen to...
I mean,
The whole Peridure
was the whole
business-
thing set up?
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
bizarre.
you've always felt...
the whole thing
You've always
was
felt
set up.
the...
Then we went down there on
Yeah.
purpose.
Well,
Not
no,
really
we
for
didn't go down there on purpose. We went down there for a completely different reason.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, as far as we were concerned, karmically there might have been... it may have been deemed
Yeah.
that we were being moved on the cosmic...
But we got shoved on.
Festival that
We
night.
got pushed onto something else from what we were originally there for.
That's right,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, the thing is that we
So
were
what,
told by
what you're
Oswald-
saying is that was it put there
Yeah.
with specific intention of us finding it?
Yeah,
Well, I wouldn't have thought so.
you wouldn't have thought so.
I thought we discussed that at the time.
I think
If
we
we
did.
If
but,
we hadn't have bothered and left it there,
Yeah,
things
But-
would have carried on, but we happened to turn up.
yeah, but no. What I mean by that is that do you think that the whole idea of the Peridure story was that once the heart has been beheaded,
Yeah.
somebody comes along and a mysterious knight or a lady in some accounts and removes this head and clears off with it.
Yeah.
We seem to be role-playing that exact thing.
Yeah.
Almost as if somebody,
Yeah.
be it supernatural intelligence or the Black Alchemist himself, had actually deemed that that was exactly what was going to happen.
Well,
That somebody would come along and
interesting.
take up his...
Yeah. I'll
his
go along with
spearhead.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't think that at the time.
Yeah, because we never discussed
I thought we
it.
just fell over the thing, and that was that.
Yeah, but I mean the thing is that
I mean,
Ogmore told us.
I know, from the point of Ogmore, previous to that, we weren't,
Yeah,
were we?
yeah.
Previous to that, we weren't involved at all
No,
with
no,
what was going
no.
on.
And I mean
Only
to-
when we
Yeah.
reached Ogmore and
Yeah.
got this bizarre story about Peridure,
Yeah.
we then may have realised that we were onto something different.
Well,
Or you
certainly.
did,
Well,
because
no,
you mentioned finding a heart or cutting the head off a heart.
yeah, but not at that moment because I mean that came through in the message from Ogmore.
Yeah.
But we got to Lullington.
Yeah.
The first thing you said was that you
But
thought
you
the black magic
specifically
had gone on
said that
there.
he's got nothing to do with what we were doing down there
Well,
when we got that message.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I felt.
Which may have triggered in you, and probably did, a little, what the hell's going on now?
Yeah. But the thing is that although I didn't put it in the book.
And we didn't go to Lullington straight away for some reason we bypassed
Well, that's right. I mean, that seems significant in itself.
and went to the other place.
Yeah, and the only reason we didn't go there was because the cars behind us prevented us from
From going,
stopping.
yeah.
I mean, had that road been busier,
Yeah.
then we'd have gone straight on.
That's
We'd have
right.
missed the message
Yeah.
from Ogmore. But what I was saying is that, do you think that the Black Alchemist expected somebody to remove that object, or somebody to touch it, or was it just purely
Well, I
a
always
fixing
thought
marker.
that he was. I thought it was a fixing marker.
Yeah. But in a way, once that had happened, and we took it away,
Yeah,
early
and
on,
then we were involved.
then we're involved. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he wanted to find out who it was
Exactly.
who was interfering with his
yeah.
with his ritual.
Yeah.
And
I mean, what would have happened if he'd left it there? I don't know.
yeah. But what do you think his? I mean, once he realised that that was gone, what do you think his feelings were towards us?
Anger.
Anger. What? Just because we messed up
Well,
his
he
ritual?
interrupted. Well, exactly. Yeah.
But why do you think then that he followed us? He tried to follow us back into Essex. Was it because, was it just purely to give us a sort of slap wrist, so to speak? Don't do it again, or because we actually removed it, did that integrally link us in some other more profound way to him? Did he then think to himself, these people are obviously my ultimate adversaries, therefore I must track them down?
No, I think it was deeper than that.
Deeper? What do you mean?
And I still think it's deeper than that. I still think that he would wish, really, to get rid of us completely.
Why?
At the time, whether he does now is a bit different, isn't it?
Why?
Because we were interfering.
Yeah, but I mean...
And anybody on that level who perhaps isn't just the same as perhaps you or me or anybody else who might walk about in the street, they would take it far more seriously than anyone else would. To the point of going after.
Why though?
Well, I don't know why.
But I mean, the thing is, yeah, but why? What was, I mean, the
It's a
ideal
vengeance
sketch?
wreck, I reckon.
Yeah? So do you think that the ideal sketch was the result of him trying to attune to us and getting a bearing on us?
Yeah.
So what do you think the purpose of him planting it in Ideal was then? Of just laying another one of his fixing markers, his
Yeah, I think
spearheads
it
there?
was probably also twofold. One, he might get away with the fact that we wouldn't bother
Yeah,
as well,
yeah.
so that everything would then, I don't know what he was doing, but carry on the same as it would as Lullington if nothing happened. Would have stayed there, wouldn't it?
So in other words, he chose Lullington, as I realised by checking out all the Zosimoss stuff. It related to the womb and Mary and inside and rebirth, something or other. All that all. So in other words, it was twofold.
Yeah.
A, he might as well use that site as opposed to any other site because it fitted his planned ritual. And secondly, if we reacted to this one, he'd know that something was really onto him. It wasn't just a one-off chance thing.
Right.
So why do you think that he removed it before we got there?
I don't know. We've never discussed that. Well, we have.
Well, we have.
We've never come up with an answer as to why.
Well, what I...
I mean, your guess is as good as mine and anybody else.
Well, I think at the time, I think the general feeling was that exactly, the mob-handed approach. In other words, if dozens of people...
Two rather famous swords
went down...
might have had a lot to do with it, mightn't they?
Eh?
Two rather famous swords might have had a lot to do with it as well.
Oh, what, the patterns?
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, they obviously quite... I think they're magical.
Magically charged?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they were used. The actual swords were used.
Vibes change in the area, don't they? Even before, when you're meeting with somebody like that who's also found those sort of artifacts.
Yeah, yeah. So the fact that they were psychically charged and the fact that we were down there, it would have ruined what he was up to anyway. And also, I think the other thing that we discussed at the time was the fact that that anybody could have touched the spearhead, which would have sent back confusing imagery to him. Therefore, he wouldn't know whether he was coming or going. All different people touching the artifact, which he charged up for us to get hold of. But the thing is that right from the point of getting down there, you said that you felt that we were walking into a trap. So it was set as a trap.
I think a twofold thing, yeah.
Yeah.
A trap as well as, well, if we don't fall into
Yeah.
that. Other
Okay.
things would carry on,
Well,
wouldn't
moving it on.
But quite what, I don't know.
Yeah. What about the Shenfield sketch? Then?
Yes.
I mean, that was 2 weeks later.
Yes.
After a prolonged period where we both realised that something was going on. There was turbulence in the air, as we would probably say. And after...
Well, that was more of a threat, wasn't it, physically?
You think?
I think.
Yeah, I mean, there was a series of traps involved in it.
I think it was carried a stage further than anything else.
Yeah, because
the fact that it was beginning to be a bit frightening to me, to you probably not, big game.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me it was.
Yeah.
A bit more.
Well, what did you feel?
Than that.
What did you feel that night of the Shenfield Common sketch then? I mean, the fact that he was now in Essex.
Yeah.
He was
I
not
felt,
far away from wherever we are.
I felt rather frightened of what would happen.
You did?
Yeah.
What did you think would
Afterwards
happen?
as well.
What did you think would happen next?
Well, I was expecting to be finished off, really.
Really?
Yeah.
You actually believed that was possible?
I thought, yeah.
But, I mean, taking this back to the present now, do you still believe that there is still that danger? Or do you think that his tactics have changed?
I think it's calmed down and his tactics have changed, but I still think it's there.
Yeah. We'll go back to that in a second.
I still think it's there. Although, of course, he's changed his format and something.
Yeah. Now, after this...
now goes around mob-handed.
Yeah, it's a different scene.
Somebody appears to be more dominant now than perhaps he would have liked in the first place.
Yeah.
Perhaps he's losing somewhat control.
Yeah. Now, when we were in
Or perhaps he isn't.
St Anne's Castle...
St Anne's Castle? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, St Anne's Castle up...
What's that got to do?
that forms the chapter in the book. You picked up that there was a fleshy heart around somewhere.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Do you remember?
Well, yeah.
And at the time we debated.
And we wrote it down.
Yeah, wrote it down.
Yeah.
And we debated as to what that might be.
Yeah.
Do you think that was a portent of the
Well, obviously.
sketch up here?
Well, obviously, reading into what happened afterwards.
Or you don't think he regularly goes around
What?
shoving hearts around?
I wouldn't have thought so.
You wouldn't have thought so?
No.
Because so much of that information that you picked up that night appeared to be like a portent of future events, which I only realised
Vibes.
last November after the dagger in the heart sketch.
Yeah, perhaps a similar thing to the black candle and the pink border.
Yeah. Well, go and tell us about that. I mean, this isn't in the book.
No, but is it? We can't decide when, can we?
Yeah. Just reiterate on what you picked up on. Was it Saturday?
Saturday.
Sorry,
yeah.
Friday night.
Friday night.
Friday night.
Yeah. After your happenings during the week. Well.
Yeah. So what did you actually see?
Well, this was a bowl, not rectangular shape, but not sloping the sides. It was straight down.
Yeah.
Across the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. And in the middle of this was a black candle stuck to the bottom.
Yeah.
Inside.
Yeah.
Surrounding that was rose-coloured water, if you like, or a light red, because I don't like thinking of rose-coloured water.
Yeah.
And then there was a sort of a interruption of the fact that something to do with 5 nights of darkness, which I think is associated with the moon phases.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you mean by the page? What do you mean?
Well, when there's dark, when there's no moon, in other words,
Yeah.
nights when there's no moon. So either it hasn't risen,
Yeah.
like it does sometimes. It's around during the day, isn't it? So
Yeah.
the nights must be dark.
I see.
So 5 days, if that's possible, of when there's no moon, whatever times you fit anything in.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
Yeah.
show. And also a mixture of an ointment of some sort, which could be put onto a doll or an effigy, which would affect the person that it was directed to. Probably you,
Me.
Andy.
Yeah. And on certain parts
Maybe.
of the body.
Neck, chest, and stomach.
For what reason?
I don't know.
What would it cause?
might cause an irritability to the skin. And what else would it
Yeah.
cause?
Yeah.
Is it death?
I think
Is it death?
death. Well, I wouldn't have thought so. But,
Is it the voodoo bone thing?
well, it could be.
Is
If it has, then it hasn't
is it-
affected me yet.
Oh, but it hasn't. That was just what we were saying. You're saying about portends of the future.
Well, that's
Has it
right.
been given up because the candle wasn't lit?
Or is it something?
Or is it
that's yet
something
to
that's going to
come?
happen? I don't know.
Yeah. What date is it today?
19th.
Of September 1988.
88.
Yeah. So okay, that's the
It's
very
demanding.
last thing. That's the very last thing that we've picked up to do with the Black Alchemist affair. But
It didn't mean anything to Andy when I mentioned to him. So.
no. That's it.
It didn't
But-
relate to anything that's happening at the moment.
No, that's right. Other than the fact that
So is
that
it
particular-
something that might have been used in the past and wasn't?
effective. But you had
Or was it something that could be used in the future and might be?
but you actually sat down to pick up this
I specifically
information
did that, yeah.
in your dining room
Yeah.
on the oak table.
Exactly. Smoking fags. And
As
I think
usual.
I might have had a glass of scotch at the same time.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Now, the only other stuff that we've picked up that isn't in the book, we won't go over all
We're
of
talking portends.
it, is the fact that that there seems to be a very strong French link
Yeah.
with the Black Sorceress of Arundel.
Yeah. We're assuming this lot.
We're
of course.
assuming this. I mean, this was a little bit twisted arms the last time
Yeah.
we met
Yeah.
up.
This is
at
one of the little
Danbury.
things which I said about France, a French
Yeah.
connection, I said.
Yeah.
Same time as you picked up some naked.
No,
Whatever
we won't
stand-up.
go into that.
But
That won't appear in the book either.
No. But if we were discussing mine,
Yeah,
then we were
that's right.
discussing.
Yeah, okay, you're fine. But seems to be associated with a chateau,
A chateau.
winemaking.
We think Brittany.
Well,
We're off Brittany.
No, they're off Brittany.
We're on the Normandy now.
On the Loire
Loire
Valley
Valley.
now.
That
Loire
is Brittany,
Valley,
isn't it?
yeah.
Right.
Which is a prominent winemaking area.
It is indeed a prominent winemaker.
Big chateau there,
Yeah.
embattled, as
Yeah.
most of them are.
Gravel with a
Gothic.
high hedge.
Yeah, and close to a river,
Yeah,
which appears
close
to
to a
be the Loire itself.
Yeah.
White wine, I think we decided, was
Yeah.
it? Which
Yeah.
happens to be the most prominent
Why
wine
not could be
made.
pink?
Well, rosé. They do.
Rosa.
They
Oh,
do.
God.
They do rosé.
What a horrible thought.
Yeah. And the
Yeah,
only
yeah.
other thing is, there was a really big sketch on the 8th of the 8th, 88, which we won't go into detail now, but where we actually possibly got an actual sighting of one of the Black Alchemists'
Buddies.
buddies.
Henchmen, probably.
Yeah. What do you think about
The one
that?
sent to
Do you-
look,
Because at the same,
you think?
we were down at a mound between Eastbourne and Lewis, where we knew a ritual would be taking place on the 7th of August, and we knew that if we could be down there, not only would we stop what was taking place, but we may also stumble upon the ritual taking place.
And you
Well,
didn't.
I'm afraid we didn't.
Well, you didn't
stumble on the
because you
ritual.
mucked it up yourself, going then mob-handed,
Well, I think that was the only way to do it.
which is now, instead of ending the whole bloody thing, is rather continued it, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and
But then again, I hope not.
no. What do you think will happen next? What's
I don't know,
your?
well, that's a
Do
dark.
you get any? Do you get any
What do I
strong
think will happen
impressions?
next?
Of,
No, I don't. No.
Do you think? I mean, do you think this will last for years?
No, I hope not. I'd rather just let it fade away. But from what I've said before on tape,
What do you think the
they
book
probably
will do?
won't.
What? How do you think that people will react to the book? I don't mean what I mean. No, when I say people, I mean them. How do you think they will react to the book?
Well, what do you mean? They'll either sort of up arms and immediately stomp all over everything, throwing things around willy-nilly.
You reckon?
No,
Possibly.
Or
Yeah.
the opposite.
And that'll be nothing. You don't think they'll?
So what would you do in the same position? Nothing.
Well, I'd get very hot under the collar. I think.
Well, you might get hot under the collar, but would you do anything?
I'd probably clear off.
It depends what you've got specifically planned, doesn't it?
Well, that's true. But I
If
mean,
if you're a group and you've got something specifically planned, which we think has already been mucked up because the dates will have to wait if they're still continuing with the same thing.
yeah,
Still be good.
yeah,
Then you would lie low,
yeah,
wouldn't you?
yeah,
We'd probably move
Yeah.
and go to another area or whatever.
yeah.
Would it be France? Or would it be this country?
Well, it's a possibility it could be France.
Well, possibility could be. Throwing ideas around.
Yeah.
Possibility could be France. Or you could rush about planting stuff all over the place. In an effort to trap somebody and that's
Do you
it.
think
Get rid
that
of
they will get up to mischief on the anniversary of the hurricane, which will be
Mm.
15th
it.
of October?
The night of the 15th.
Yeah. Which to us has two anniversaries. One, it was the deadline of the Running Well confrontation back in 1986. And secondly, of course, it was the anniversary of the hurricane.
And there's also been another hurricane around already,
Hurricane Gilbert,
which has been
last
mentioned
week.
that another month could see something over here.
Yeah. The remnants of Hurricane Gilbert will be in this area.
Possibly.
Well, the remnants, the sort of the ripples of it,
Which could mean high winds.
which could mean high winds. And
Around about the same time.
if one remembers that the hurricane last year was thought to be the remnants of Hurricane Anna, or certainly the ripples of it. Yeah.
Was it?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Nice coincidental
I
name
didn't,
as well,
know
Anna.
that. Didn't know that.
Yeah. So
Oh, well,
But, um,
we don't know, we just talk
yeah.
rubbish.
What did you feel about the Running Well confrontation, the death threat aspect of that?
Yes.
Did that worry you?
It did worry me.
What did you
Yeah,
think at the
because
time?
I nearly drove off the road one night.
What, that night?
And would have done.
Coming back from going from Downham down to the Downham Arms pub. Well, I'm not putting that in the book
No.
because I thought people
But
would
it was
think I was going a
difficult.
bit over the top.
Well, no, but it was difficult not to.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
I'm glad you didn't tell me at the time.
Well, no.
It worried me considerably, I
Not-
think.
There was a tremendous strain then to sort of turn right or left, but there was no road.
Yeah, it's just a frightening aspect of psychic abilities, really. Is
And
that
it was a great strain to get down the bottom.
what
and
do you
into
think
a car park.
you were hit with that night? Can you
An
describe it
overwhelming
again?
desire to die.
No. What do you think hit you in Downham Churchyard?
Oh, the little bolt which sent me crashing.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was like a
I don't know. We
Little
tried to
ball of
explain
nothing.
that. We tried to explain a sort of
ball
we
of
thought
blackness
a ball
or
of
something.
negative energy or something. It was rebounded.
What
off
do you think it
something.
was? Do you think it was something that was left there by him, or perhaps it's something integrally associated with
Well, I
the
think
site?
it was probably something that built up. And upon removing whatever it was, it triggered something off.
You think it was something like something connected with
Like a little,
the self-defence mechanism of the site, maybe?
yeah, like you get these wandering balls of light, don't you?
Yeah,
You get wandering balls of black.
like a sort of collective
Yeah.
negative thought
Yeah.
form. Or you saw it as negative
Mm.
ball of
Mm.
nothing, as it were.
That's right.
And
A negative opposite.
but how did it? How did you react in the 9 nights?
I fell over.
Eh? I know you fell over.
Oh, we're on to something
Oh,
else.
yes, sorry. Now how did
The
you,
9 nights
the 9 nights to
lacking
live.
of, well, I was
How did you
ticking the
feel?
calendar off.
Did you feel that there was a strong possibility that on
Yes,
that final night?
I felt again like perhaps somebody stuck full of pins, thought that after the end of the 9 nights there'd be a liquid thump and that'd be that,
Yeah.
time. Although also something else said, don't
Well, it
sit-
must have frightened the life out of you when you picked up his energy form there and it said one shall die
Yeah,
by a noose around his
Yeah.
neck or something, and the
And
other will
fire.
die in fire.
Yeah.
So I mean,
right.
that frightened me, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that seriously
Yeah.
affected
I
me.
associated the fire with a car crash.
Well, that's exactly what I thought. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about the noose.
I didn't put this in the book, but that's exactly
Is it? Yeah.
exactly what
That's
I
right.
thought.
I thought
yeah.
I was going to go bowling off the road. He
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
upended and trapped.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
very. Yeah. That's. I mean, the thing is that all that's doing in many ways, so is playing on your fears.
I know. But yes, I know that. But how do you stop that? You can't, can you? It's a self-preservation, isn't it?
Yeah.
You hope it's not,
Yeah.
don't you?
But why do you think that he bottomed out coming back? Do you think it was his character that stopped him coming back? You know, his personality, he bottled it.
Yeah, or is it? Well, he got better things to do anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, surely,
You know.
if he intended finishing us off,
Yeah.
then the only way he could have done that was to come back physically.
Yeah, I know. But would he?
Well,
Would he send somebody else?
I don't know.
That's what we thought, wouldn't
You know, I mean, we could have turned up there and he'd have had a whole load of henchmen or something.
we? I know. Yeah.
But I think the idea was to try and weaken us
Yeah.
over a period of 9 days.
Still running.
Still running.
Still on.
Right. What was the most memorable moment in... Oh, this is getting silly now.
Memorable moment.
The most memorable moment in the whole of the Black Alchemist
The most
affair.
memorable moment was probably up here,
Hey?
stomping around here after I was supposed to be wandering about with somebody else. The heart job, I should think.
Memorable? What, you mean that's the bit that sticks in your mind? The
Oh
most?
yeah, because what you told me afterwards, it was quite...
What did you...
A
how
lot
did you
seemed to
react
go on,
when
you know.
I said that I was going to take the heart home?
I forget what my exact words were. Something like, that was a bloody daft.
But,
When you said you were going to cook it, you mean?
I'm going to have it for lunch the next day. No.
From the car, we ventured into the churchyard by the new tree and tried to pick up anything relevant to the candle in the bowl sketch. As this section was recorded out in the open, would you please turn up your volume control now? Thank you.
Yeah.
Got a red column straight up over here,
Yeah.
which flames to start with, like a Buddhist trying to set fire to himself.
Yeah.
But then that column shot up over the top and disappeared into nothing. You could say it's heaven, I suppose. Down
Yeah.
from all these fluttering white lights. And down came this archangel figure, which was Michael,
Yeah.
intending to stop it. He was trying to change it all back to your yellow gold colour.
Yeah, well, I felt that trying to get back in.
Pursued with that too far. I don't want to think it's, you don't want to self-combust or something.
No.
It's your wrong colour build up and strengthen.
But what do you think? Why do you think it's there? Why do you think that it's happening?
I think it's all to do with what's going on at the moment around here, which is filled with the old red. I don't know what you mean around here. I mean everywhere. Red and pinkish waters, whatever.
Yeah.
Rosy colours, this, that and the other. So whether anything's going to happen or tending to, I don't know.
What do you think the red symbolises, though?
Death.
Death. As in
You don't want
blood.
to self-destruct.
No. Oh, certainly not. So what do you... What's the feeling then?
Play it cool, I should think. But I wouldn't pursue that. I wouldn't pursue that red.
Right, right.
It's injurious.
Yeah. Just
When you're persistent.
see if the tree says anything to you. As in the site itself.
well then, make link as well. Making link with the tree, which is now considered to be the centre of the churchyard, having transferred the energies from the horse chestnut tree. So what's the red around? Is it just the influence at the moment?
Yeah.
So does it create a garden in which others can play?
Yeah.
Does it relate to the candle in the red?
I think that's one of the influences.
But in what way?
I don't know. It could be a get at you problem, couldn't it?
Probably.
But whatever it is, they didn't start it, is it? So,
You don't reckon?
no.
So you reckon this
Well, the candle wasn't a light. Let's go by that.
warm this tree, isn't it?
Yeah. This tree's always warm.
Is it?
Nice. This tree's full of energy.
It would be now.
What?
I suppose it was before.
It was just before.
Yeah. Anything else fleeting there?
No. Well, there's nothing to do with here. I mean, I don't think there's any threats here as such. And I don't feel any bad influence.
So that's something to do with me, is
I'm
it?
sure you're not walking into something. I'm sure you're not delving.
What do you
into
mean?
Red.
Too much?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. That could spark something up, couldn't it? Because you might build up something you can't stop.
This Hecate stuff.
Yeah.
So what do you suggest doing? Just ignoring
Well,
it?
Wouldn't pursue it too hard.
No.
You could injure yourself by doing that.
Yeah.
Let alone sparking anything else off.
Yeah.
I mean, everything around here is red, isn't it? Not just here. I mean, with Mars and the Moon and stuff like that. It's a red influence.
So tell me what you think about this Yucatan business. You
Yeah.
feel that...
We're on something else now, aren't we?
Yeah, well...
Yes, well, I was switched away from that, yes. Sod what's going to happen to me, let's get back to Yucatan.
Well, no, if there's nothing there, then what can we do, you know?
Nothing.
But you feel that somebody may have brought it on, it may fulfil a prophecy, something that's possibly laid down
Could be
by
an
the mayors.
anniversary, couldn't it?
Could be an anniversary.
Yeah.
And that in itself may have had some prophecy associated with it,
Yeah.
to do with that date.
I mean, where does it go? Cracking open of the tomb, wasn't it?
What tomb?
Something like that. I don't know. Have you heard of the cracking open? No, perhaps you haven't.
No, what's that then?
I'm just saying cracking open the tombs to split asunder.
Who says that then?
I don't know. Slabs.
Slabs. Wouldn't go by the fire.
No. Too
No.
red.
What? Might be interesting.
No.
No. So
Don't
you
push
think?
luck.
Do you think some sort of that some sort of influence
Don't
may have
push it. I
brought
would keep
the
well away from fire if I was you.
really?
Because you've just been on fire and even down there. That's very pleasant.
So you saw me on fire?
Yes.
With a column over my head?
Well, not at first, no. The column only started up when you needed help. I did tell you once I'd take it away,
Yeah.
which I meant the sword stick,
Yeah.
or change the colour.
And then you saw some sort of angelic figure
Yeah.
come down,
When you were burning.
and that wasn't good.
No.
And what was this angelic figure then?
Well, you're angelic.
Michael.
Sword job and helmet.
Sword, job and helmet. Michael, isn't it? And what did he do?
Stopped it.
Stopped it. Well, I did feel some sort of goldy influence come over me. But I still carried on.
Well, you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, go and stand near the bonfire. It's big enough.
You come over.
And then test yourself. See if you fall in it.
That ended that session on Monday, September 19th, 1988. I never did go across to the bonfire as Bernard did not want to go. As I didn't explain anything before the session out in the churchyard, perhaps I better do so now. For the past couple of weeks I've been feeling a very strong presence of Hecate around me. This also corresponded with the rise of Hurricane Gilbert sweeping its way across the Caribbean into Mexico. And of course hurricanes are very much associated with the dark goddess influences like Hecate. The previous Friday, September the 16th, I'd spoken to Bernard about the hurricane, and he replied that there were turbulence in the air, which generally means that something's on. I told him that I would be trying something that night, and eventually ended up evoking Hecate using red and black candles, something I've never done before. The following day, I spoke to Bernard again, and he said that the previous night he had seen the black candle standing in a bowl of rose-coloured water, which was explained earlier on. Now, it meant nothing to me, but of course red and black are the colours of Hecate. Now, the matter was left until that evening when we recorded the interviews by Jamboree Churchyard. He said that he could see a very, very strong red aura around me, and he also pointed out that that night Mars was the closest that it had been to the Earth for over 17 years. Anyway, out in the churchyard we could see the moon setting, which was blood red that night, and also there was a great bonfire burning, one that Bernard mentioned. Beneath the tree, I ran the sword stick into the ground, saw red energies pouring from me down into the earth, trying to get rid of them, to earth them away. Bernard saw me shining in like a red aura. Then he saw me in flames, as if I was sort of being consumed in fire. But then, at that, he saw like a golden column of light reach down, and an angelic form which he believed was possibly the Archangel Michael, the Archangel of Fire, coming down. He's very much associated with my planetary aspects. However, I just ignored this and carried on. Now, essentially that was that. He felt that I had too much red aura surrounding me, and that I should be very, very careful, or perhaps try and get rid of it somehow. As the candle in the bowl had not been lit, he felt that perhaps this related to something in the future.